it broke. This thing's worn out, so now it's snapped. I went with a slightly different style sprinkler head, mostly because we have all these jogs in and out where we go around the trees, and in doing that I didn't want to overwater everything where it was just spray everything around and get it all wet. I wanted kind of more strategic, so we went with a Rainbird high efficiency van nozzle. It sprays out up to 15 feet. And then we just place them every 15 feet or so within the area here to water. And so that meant I had to bring in water lines to do that. So we have 4 zones here. Previously there was only 2 zones with a rotary style head for those other sprinklers, but now we have 4 zones, just a standard sprinkler head. And then what I also did while I had it all trenched up was I brought in water across on this far side. We didn't have water over there, and that is for bushes and for flowers. So we got 2 zones that water on along this tree line here. These will also have bush water lines to them. Up against the house there's a couple, and what I did was I brought the water lines, instead of cutting across the patio like it had been done before, I actually brought them all the way down and around the yard here, so that way if I ever need to access them, I'm not blocked in by the pool pavers or anything like that. So yeah. How we glue, you gluing. Plenty of primer. Blue glue. Just make sure you get that the right direction. Kind of have to hold it on there. Otherwise it'll push itself off. You don't have to hold it long, but 15 seconds or so. And then I always try and put the letters, if they have them, facing up like this. That way if you ever have to dig it up, you know what line you got in there. Okay, it's good to go. I've been using this tool here to kind of zip through it. Makes it a lot easier. And then this here, swing arm riser. This is made to have a little bit of flexibility to it, so it can go up or down. And these just really help, like if you ever run over these consistently with the mower. The old riser style that used to just have the black, I guess poly riser, they would eventually snap off. And I remember the last yard, I'd find these in the yard, like they'd be shot over like 20 feet because they just come out of the ground like a rocket, just whoo, and land somewhere. So this helps with that, and it also helps me to kind of set the elevation without having to get all of the piping elevation like perfect. Because if I were to do it the other way, I'd have to make sure that all this pipe was exactly the right height underneath this. If that makes sense. To the next. Okay, this was the location of the previous manifold. It was buried in the ground here below 2 boxes. The issue that I have out here is that we have a lot of gophers, and they would tunnel up to the bottom of that, fill that full of dirt, and chew through all the wires. The sprinklers would stop working for a day or two. By the time I realized it and opened it up, they had destroyed all the wires, having to replace the wires. I had to do that twice in 6 months. So I've decided to change that and pick a new location for this box. I also don't really like having the box so close to the house, because if there's ever a leak here, you're just asking for water to be, you know, up against the foundation, and I really don't care for that. So we've moved it here. Previously, the water line came down the side of the house and into this manifold, and then came across this block wall here, and then shot across the patio, under the patio, and into the lawn area, 2 zones. So we've gone ahead and changed that so that way we can go ahead and put a new patio in here and not ever have to worry about something happening underneath it. So here's our new manifold. It is no longer buried in the ground, but is now out of the ground. And this will eventually will get backfilled, and there'll be a cover placed over the top of this. There will also be a solid bottom in this one, and I'll show you guys how I do that later. That'll just keep the gophers out of this, keep everything from chewing on the wires. The wires will also be housed in their own conduit, so that keeps the stuff that's in the ground safe from gophers. But I like this a lot better. It's a little more organized, a little cleaner, a little bit higher on the ground. We're still doing testing on wiring right now, and over on the wall I've got our sprinkler timer set up, and so then it's just channeled under the ground. It comes through this PVC and comes up through here. So I've got a little bit more work to do on this. I've got the front 4 valves here hooked up that are going to be for the lawns, and then the other 5 here are going to be for various bushes and gardens and flower areas. So I still need to finish connecting those pipes, and then we can go ahead and backfill this whole system. So for the volume of water I needed, as well as for the distance I'm running all the way out there and the pressure that I needed to increase my vacuum breaker. So previously there was a 3/4 inch line here. We have a 1 inch line coming in from the street. So I've increased it to a 1 inch diameter vacuum breaker line, and that runs off now to our new manifold. We did it. The grass is in and it's growing, and we got it planted before Thanksgiving, but it didn't quite sprout till about the day before Thanksgiving. So technically we made it